Can you believe it's lesson 6, our final lesson together? You know, chapters 6 through 10 in Rising Strong are really examples of the Rising Strong process in action. What we try to do is I tried to write stories that really illustrated kind of all of these emotions that we talk about a lot. So when you read chapters 6 through 10, you'll get to see the process in action. What I want to do for this final lesson is take one of those chapters. This is primarily from chapter 6, Sewer Rats and Scofflaws. And I want to take you through that learning as part of this course for a couple of reasons. One, it was probably, of all the things I've learned, rumbling with my story and really capturing those SFDs and using this process, this has been the most transformational for me personally. And also, this is the topic we receive the most emails, letters, tweets, Facebook posts about. So I want to walk you through it, and we're going to do something kind of weird. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause the video right now, and I want you to go and grab a sheet of paper. It can actually be a Post-it note. It can be a small piece of paper. You don't need something big to write with. If you've printed out stuff to do your work on, you can use that. Just a small piece of paper. So pause me for a second. We're actually going to do this exercise together as if we were in a physical classroom together. I feel like we were in a classroom together, but if you were sitting right in front of me, that's how we're going to do this. So turn me off for just a sec and come back with something to write with and something to write on. Okay, you've got your pen, pencil, piece of paper. Let's get started. We're going to talk about living big. And here's what I want to do. I want to ask you a series of questions, and I just want you to write down the answer. Easy questions. Ready? Number 1. Do you believe, in general, that people are doing the very best they can? Yes or no? And just write down, yes, I believe they're doing the best they can. No, I do not believe people are doing the best they can. Take a second, write it down, pause me. Okay, so what's interesting, now we're back. What's interesting about this question is it's normally about 50-50. And we're not going to share, if you're doing this in a group, we're not going to share within your group yet. We're just going to keep going. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about a person in your life who you absolutely cannot stay out of judgment around. This is a person who makes you crazy, a person who you are constantly like, what are they doing? What were they thinking? Why are they making these choices? Someone who you feel really judgy about. Someone that really drives you crazy. I'm going to ask that you not pick a child because I just don't think it's a good idea to pick a kid. So pick someone in your life, coworker, partner, friend, family member, parent. Go for it. Again, pause me for a second, write it down. Okay. I want you to write down, just put 1, 2, 3 on your little Post-it note or piece of paper and write down a couple of things that really, what makes you crazy about this person? What frustrates you? What really gets under your skin about this person? Take a couple of minutes again. Okay. Now here's where I'm going to need you to really trust me and go along with the exercise for a minute. Look at that person's name right now. Don't look at me. Just look at the person's name right now and listen to me while you're looking. What if you found out for certain, 100%, that person is doing the absolute very best he or she can do, period? What would it mean for you? And now let me anticipate some of your first responses. They will range from that's bullshit to I don't believe it to oh my God, please tell me that's true. I want you to go with me here. What if this person was really doing every day the best he or she could do? What would it mean for you? I want you to just pause me and take a minute. Here's what I'm going to tell you. We can't answer that question definitively. No one has the answer to that question. I was a hardcore militant no for the first 41 years of my life. I absolutely did not believe people were doing the best they could. And I stayed kind of constantly pissed off and frustrated that people were always letting me down, dropping the ball, not living up to the potential. And then something really shifted for me when I started doing the work around shame and vulnerability. And here's what I've learned. It doesn't matter really whether people are doing the best they can or not. What really matters is how you and I move through the world and the assumptions we make about people. Because when I ask people the question, what if this person was really doing the best they can? And people are able to move through the resistance about this exercise and say, okay, if it was really true, then I am an absolute jerk. Or that I am being very hard on this person and expecting something that may never come. What often comes up for us, and I'll use an example. I was working with a couple of deacons, which are kind of like clergy or pastors, priests. And I was working with actually a big group of them. And we did this exercise. And it was a married husband and wife who were both deacons. And when I said pick a person, they looked at each other and smiled and wrote down the same person. And when I said, okay, what if this person that you wrote down was doing the best they could? They both immediately just pushed back and said, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. Now, this was easy for me because they were deacons and I could say, well, God says it's true. They're like, oh. And the woman just started crying and the man just started shaking his head. And I said, what's going on for you right now? And they said, if he's really doing the best he can, this person, and it was someone that they served in their parish. And so they finally said, if it's true, if this person is doing the very best he can, then one of two things has to happen. We either have to stop helping and be okay with stop helping, or we have to continue to help without judgment. But what doesn't work is to continue helping and being angry and judgmental and resentful all the time. That's the whole lesson here.